This Mujadara recipe has incredible depth of flavor from the rice, lentils, and caramelized onion. You guys are gonna love it. I'm Justin from Cooking with Coit. I specialize in clean comfort cooking. And remember, if you love this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Let's get started. Let's quickly go over the ingredients you need to make this recipe. 4 cloves of garlic, bay leaves, cumin, sea salt and black pepper, basmati rice, lentils, onions, green onions, and olive oil. For the special equipment you're gonna need, I use a Dutch oven, but you could also use a large pot, and 1 large frying pan. First thing we're gonna do is prep our garlic. We are just going to give it a really good smash and cut off the end. So, smash, cut off the end. Actually, I didn't smash it hard enough. Gotta really give it a good smash. Like, I wanna get the garlic almost flat. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I'm on, get a shot of this. That's how flat we want. And we're doing this with 4 cloves of garlic. Next thing we're gonna do is add our water to the pot. We're gonna be using 5 cups. This is a 4-cup measurement, so I'm gonna do 4 and then 1. There's 4, and here's 1. So there are some things in cooking that I feel like, especially in savory cooking, that I feel like you can fudge a little bit. But when you're cooking any grains, rice, lentils, quinoa, you really have to be precise about the amount of water that you put in, because if you put in too much water, the grain is gonna get super mushy. If you don't put enough in, you might burn it. So just be very mindful of always make sure you're putting in the right amount of water. Next thing we're gonna do is add our garlic into the pot. So we can just take our smashed garlic and just drop it right in. We're also gonna add our 2 bay leaves into the pot. Next, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of cumin. And I've actually never done this before, adding spices into water before I add the grain. This was kind of new to me, but it's really awesome and really infuses these grains with a ton of great flavor. We're also gonna add in a teaspoon of salt and a pinch of pepper. Now we're just gonna give this a little bit of stir, and we're gonna let this water come to a boil before we do anything else. Now that the water's boiling, you're really smelling the incredible flavor of the cumin, and I'm starting to smell a little bit of the garlic too. It smells amazing. I can't wait for you guys to try this. So next we're gonna add our 1 cup of lentils. Just give them a little bit of stir. I'm gonna let the water come back to a boil, then I'm gonna turn the heat down, just let it simmer for 5 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna prep our onions. So let's first cut them in half, and we also need to peel the outer layer. Now we wanna thin slice our onion. This recipe calls for a lot of onion, and the reason for that is that we are going to caramelize them. So we're gonna cook them really slowly with some olive oil, and as they're cooking, they're gonna get smaller, they're gonna reduce in size. So even though it seems like a lot of onions, it won't be at the end. All right, so the lentils have been cooking for just about 5 minutes, so now we're gonna add in our basmati rice. This is 1 cup. I'm gonna give this 1 quick stir, and then I am not going to stir it anymore until it is done. That's really important with rice. We need to allow the water to come back to a strong simmer, and then we're gonna cover it and let it cook for 15 minutes. You know, I have to be honest about this recipe. So I was initially very intimidated by it. Cooking rice and lentils at the same time felt like, I felt like I was gonna mess it up. I was just very intimidated by this recipe, and I felt like it just wasn't gonna come out good. And I'm kind of curious, guys, if you have recipes that you feel intimidated by, please let me know in the comments below, because I think it's really important to think about these things and to push through them. Even when you're feeling intimidated, just make them. Even if you mess it up, you can make it again, and it feels really good, I think, to perfect something that was once intimidating. So let me know in the comments. All right, so I've moved my Dutch oven to the back burner over here just to give me a little more room to work. Next thing we're gonna do is caramelize our onions. This is a really fun thing to do. You guys have probably caramelized onions before, but if not, here's a couple keys. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of olive oil into my pan. Next, I'm gonna add all my thinly sliced onions that we prepared earlier. All right, I'm gonna give these a little bit of a toss in the oil just to try to get the oil kind of, mixed around. And then now, you wait. You cannot rush caramelizing onions. You just have to let the onions sit in the heat and the oil and just caramelize. Again, you don't wanna rush it. If you turn the heat up too much, it's gonna start to burn the onions. So just chill out. Maybe go look at YouTube, look at TikTok, listen to your favorite podcast. I mean, listen, some people are gonna say, You shouldn't even rush caramelized onions to the point where like it should take like a half an hour. That's a little bit too slow for me. But I'm gonna give these a good 10 to 15 minutes to start to caramelize. I'm gonna show you in a little bit, but what you're gonna see is that they're gonna start to slowly change color. They're gonna deepen in their color. They're gonna turn kind of more golden, and it's gonna be very beautiful. And you really have to be patient because caramelizing onions gives you such good flavor. So just trust the process and let it go. I'll see you in 15 minutes. All right, the 15 minutes is done for the rice and the lentils. So if you can, this is hard to do, try not to open the top right now and peek inside. I would really suggest you just take it and move it to a burner that's not hot, and we're gonna let it sit for another 10 minutes and just let it steam, okay? All right guys, I have brought the onions back to the foreground here just to show you how we're doing. We're about 10 or 11 minutes in. You can tell that the onions are starting to caramelize already. They started off as, you know, like this translucent white, and now you can start to see some yellow and some sort of darker colors start to form. This is exactly what we want. It's cooking at a very good speed. So we're not gonna really do anything here. We're just gonna let them sit and cook. Every maybe 3 or 4 minutes, I'm just giving them a little bit of toss just so that they cook evenly. Let's see how they do. I'm gonna check in with you again in about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay guys, so remember when I said caramelizing onions is only gonna take 10 to 15 minutes? It should take like a half an hour.
That's a little bit too slow for me.
I don't know what I was thinking. I've completely forgotten how long it takes to caramelize onions properly. It took 30 minutes. So I'm sorry. I just need to apologize. So this is what I would do with this recipe. Start by caramelizing the onions from the beginning and then do the rice and lentils. That's gonna put you on a better time schedule so you're not stuck waiting for the onions to caramelize like I just was. So consider it about a 30-minute process. Now that the onions are beautifully caramelized, look at how golden and beautiful they are. We are going to take them and put them onto this plate that I have lined with a paper towel. And we just want some of the oil to be sucked up and absorbed into the paper towel. Take them just like this, and then you can kind of spread them out a little bit. And we're just gonna let these sit here for, you know, just a couple minutes, and then they'll be ready to go. All right guys, so let's take a look at our lentils and rice and see how they turned out. Woo, this looks absolutely perfect. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to take out our bay leaves, and we can just discard those. Now you can take out the garlic cloves if you want, or you can really just leave them in. I'm gonna actually take them out for right now. If you really love garlic, you can leave them in, but I'm gonna take them out. Next, we're gonna take a fork and very gently, we're going to fluff the rice and lentils. Don't go in there super hard because you might damage the rice. Just be nice and gentle with it. Just a little bit of a fluff like this. Next, I'm gonna add in my green onions. Now I chopped these off camera, sorry I didn't show you guys, but just a simple chop is totally fine. We wanna make about a half a cup's worth. That's typically about 3 to 4 green onions. So just toss those in just like this. And I'm also gonna add a generous helping of salt. I would say about 3 big pinches. I've noticed that it definitely takes a little bit of salt and peppering to taste at this point to really kind of like get the flavor to where you want it to be. And a couple pinches of pepper. I'm gonna give it one more light fluff. All right guys, now I'm gonna show you how I plate my Mujadara. So grab a big serving spoon, and this is definitely a family style dish. So I like to put it on a bowl or a plate right in the middle of the table. And now I'm gonna add our caramelized onions right on top. And we're gonna finish it with just a little bit of fresh chopped parsley. There we go. It is all done, and it looks and smells absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to give it a try, but before I do, if you love this recipe and you wanna see more just like it, check out my healthy recipes playlist. Okay, let's get into it. This Mujadara recipe is so incredible. You really get this perfect balance of the rice, lentils, and these beautiful caramelized onions right on top, and not to mention those sliced green onions go a long way too. Guys, this recipe is so good. You've got to give it a try. I'll see you in the next video.